So, here are some of the positives that we found from the survey this year. Spending and participation continue to increase overall. All right? This is where people get in trouble with statistics, and this is what I love. This is what politicians do. Okay? Read that up there. Spending and participation continue to increase overall. But let's go back to something I told you at the beginning of this survey. When did I tell you gardening peaked? 2002. It went to 2002, and it kind of leveled off. 2008 happened, it tanked. Okay? So even though spending and participation continued to increase overall, we are still 6 or 7% off of where we were in 2002, and we've got much more population. Okay? So it is a positive that 1 million more people garden every year, and all categories had increases in sales and participation, but we're still not back to where we were 2002. All right? So, flower gardening is on the rise. And this is very interesting. One thing I get very passionate about, and I really get excited about, I love to grow flowers. And I really, I'm not all hippy-dippy, but I am an organic gardener, and I do believe that we should take care of what God gave us. And so I really do support what's called the local flower movement. Are y'all aware of this? It's people that grow flowers locally, they use no chemicals, and then they sell them directly in the local area. And so it makes me very happy to see that flower gardening is on the rise again. And I just want y'all to know, flower gardening is gardening. I have much more square footage in flower beds than I do in vegetable gardening, and I just love them. It's really hard to make a romantic, lovely arrangement for your wife out of cucumbers, So anyway, very glad to see that flower gardening is on the rise. So now let's go back here to something else I told you in the beginning. I said when you're going into your arbor gates and everything, what's at the front? What's by the checkout? The trickling sound of water. You ever wonder why? Thank you, ma'am. You ever wonder why? That's because for the last 2 years, this has been the top trend in gardening. This is where sales have increased the fastest, are on water gardening. So what did I tell y'all? I'm fixing to put in a water garden. And for how long have I been gardening? Why did I want to put in a water garden this year? I don't know. So subliminally, I think some of this stuff that they're selling in this marketing stuff, and you walk in these things all the time, and boom, you see all these cool water features and everything, and you're like, oh, wow. So evidently, some of these statistics and marketing and stuff, I think it works. Well, it works on me, but not just me, because a lot of people evidently are buying water fountains, okay? The other things that are beginning to, and organics have been big since 2002, but they continue to increase every year. More and more people are interested in organics and growing local, all right? Finally, decline. Well, not finally, I got one more slide. Here are the declines. Okay, all of you people, you follow Instagram, Pinterest, and all of that. And remember how the millennials were going to save us? God, the millennials, they were dropping out of corporate America, getting tattoos and doing small flower and organic gardens and all of that. And the millennials were going to save us. Well, guess what? They're not, okay? Evidently, I'm sorry? Yeah. After 2 or 3 years, they realized it's a little bit harder to garden than it is to flick yes or flick no or whatever. I'm just making fun, okay? There are a lot of millennials that are still very much involved in this, but their participation spiked, and now it's declining. And my theory is, y'all want to know what my theory is? Sure. I'll tell you what their theory is. This was very interesting. We're all older, except for you two, okay? We're all older, okay? We're all older here. So what do we blame all of the ills in America on? What? Well, let's think electronic. What do we blame all of the ills in America on? On computers, smartphones, iPads, blah, 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 blah. Well, they did it too. In this gardening survey, they were like, let's talk about the 600-pound elephant in the room. The reason nobody's gardening is because they're on their smartphones too much, blah, 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 blah. Well, I don't believe that, okay? Here's what I believe. You know why millennials aren't gardening? Because they're breeding. That's right. And so when you make babies, you no longer have time to take care of your garden, okay? I mean, I say that kind of flippantly or whatever, but it's true. When you have kids, you simply do not have time to garden. You've got soccer practice and piano practice and kung fu practice and everything else. So I think people are a little hard on the millennials. I will bet you money that once those millennials get 55 years old, their participation is going to take up. So that's what I take away from this. I might be old and grumpy, but I'm trying to be an old and scientifically based grumpy guy.